What's something your parents did that you act like you forgot but never really did? When I was 10, I won my first art contest. My dad didn't say much, just nodded and went back to work. That was kind of his thing. Quiet, stern, never one for compliments. Art was my escape growing up. I'd spend hours lost in sketchbooks, mixing colors, creating worlds on paper. But whenever I'd excitedly show Dad a new piece, he'd barely look up from his newspaper. "That's nice," he'd mumble before turning the page. Mom would always compensate, hanging my artwork everywhere, praising every brushstroke, but it was Dad's approval I craved. By middle school, I realized it was never coming. He was a construction foreman, built massive bridges and highways across the state. Real work with real purpose, as he'd often say. His hands were always rough, calloused, perpetually stained with concrete dust. Mine were stained with paint. We couldn't have been more different. At my high school art show, Mom took dozens of photos, beaming with pride. Dad walked through the gallery with his hands clasped behind his back, expression unchanged, checking his watch every few minutes. When my abstract painting won Best in Show, he just nodded and asked if we could stop for dinner on the way home. I stopped inviting him after that. Senior year, I got accepted to art school with a full scholarship. When I announced it at dinner, Mom squealed and hugged me tight. Dad took a sip of water and asked, "They teach you how to pay bills with paintings there?" That night, I decided I was done seeking his validation. After graduation, I took a job at a prestigious design firm in Seattle, exactly 2,143 miles from Dad's construction sites in Texas. Our relationship dwindled to awkward Christmas calls and family updates filtered through Mom. 4 years passed this way, with the distance between us growing wider than just miles. Then last winter, Mom called at 3 a.m. Dad's heart gone at 54. I flew home feeling numb, confused by the grief consuming me. At the funeral, I kept it together until I saw his crew. 30 men in work boots and dusty jeans, standing awkwardly in the back row. These hard men who'd never show emotion were red-eyed and broken. One kept repeating, "Your dad was the best damn builder I ever knew." 3 days later, I was clearing out Dad's home office when his right-hand man, Mitch, stopped by. Gruff old guy with a weathered face who'd worked alongside Dad for over 20 years. "Your father's company got the Houston downtown overpass contract," he said flatly. "Project starts next month. Need someone who can handle the design elements." "I'm a graphic designer, not an engineer," I replied, confusion evident in my voice. Mitch just shrugged, his expression unreadable beneath his mustache. "Your dad specifically wrote your name in the proposal. Said you had an eye for detail no engineering school could teach." I laughed bitterly, the sound hollow in the quiet room. "Dad said that? About me? Are you sure we're talking about the same man?" "Kid, he wouldn't shut up about you. Drove us crazy showing your website to everyone at lunch. Had some article about your design firm pinned up in the site trailer." I took the job temporarily, just to honor what would have been his final project. Maybe find some closure. First day on site, I was reviewing blueprints when something caught my eye. The overpass supports had these unusual curves, not the standard straight columns used in typical highway designs. They looked almost familiar. When I asked about it, Mitch smiled for the first time since Dad died. "That's your dad's signature design. City wanted something special for the downtown entrance. Something with artistic merit was the term they used. He spent months perfecting those curves." Then Mitch pulled out earlier drafts from a dusty tube. The support structures were based on a series of fluid geometric forms I'd explored in my thesis project, work Dad had never even acknowledged when I proudly showed him after graduation. As I flipped through page after page, I recognized elements from my other pieces too, patterns and shapes I'd developed over years, integrated seamlessly into functional architecture. "He kept a folder of everything you ever created," Mitch said quietly, watching my face. "Called it his inspiration file. Said you taught him to see beyond straight lines and right angles. Said you made him a better builder." I still act like I've forgotten how much his silence hurt me, but I never really did.